Well, hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to another episode of ATF here, where myself and the legend himself, Kuva, the sexy Scandinavian, will actually talk about football or make an honest attempt. And that was one of Kuva's many girlfriends messaging him during the show. I'm sure he's letting her know he's busy for the next hour because he's with his chocolate boyfriend, right? Clearly, yes.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
How you doing, Coops?
I'm good, mate. I'm good, mate. Yeah, a bit of mixed news this week, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Today a few things breaking, but we'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah, we've got a few up and downs. It's kind of it seems like we're going to start on a bit of a high with the show and go into a little bit of a darkness, shall we say? But it needs to be done. That's why we said we're going to do this show, try to enlighten ourselves a little bit, or especially myself in terms of footballing knowledge, because other than playing FIFA, I have little, and other than what you kind of told me to say, right? So I shouldn't have told everybody that, eh? Oops. Oh well, cat's out of the bag now. What do we do? What do we
It's
do?
right. We'll pretend that's what we're good at.
We'll pretend. We'll pretend. But there is something I do know that I can speak about because I did watch this. So we did have our most recent game against Palace, where we came back to win 3-1 after a very, very poor 77 minutes. Absolutely dreadful game at the beginning. Lackluster is, I think, the appropriate word to use, where we kind of all of a sudden just got back into it and exploded. I know that our dear friend Ben Kaufman went to the game and was very disappointed in the fact that he spent 80 to 90 pound on a ticket to watch about 20 minutes of football. How did you feel about this game, the display overall? First, the display up until 77 minutes, and then the last 20 minutes, the differentiation between how poor we were and how great we finished.
Well, for me, it's sort of indicative of what's going on at the club. We've got a new manager and new style of play we're trying to instill into the team, and we have some players that are not up to the job. And it's particularly noticeable that it's our flanks that are the weakest at the moment. When you take Pedro Porro and the doggy out of the team, for example, we look almost shut down. We're almost crippled without those two. Um, so we're relying now on wingers that haven't been on form or have yet to prove themselves after their arrival from, like Timo Werner. He's got a reputation that was great 4 years ago, but it's not so good nowadays. So we're looking for them to provide the width and any kind of trickery and getting behind the other team and getting to the byline and playing like out and out wingers. We haven't seen a lot of that because Kulusevski's good at holding the ball up and advancing with it, but he's not an out and out winger anymore. Well, was he ever? He does tend to cut in. He's doing okay, but he's not what we really need to break some of these stubborn teams down. So we saw that for the first 75, 80 minutes almost. It was painful. It's painful. We've had this problem before for a long time though. Even back in Pochettino's days, we struggled with low blocks. Um, it's difficult to play against. That's the main thing to remember. Excuse me. Um, and I think we just need to rely on getting some more signings and add quality to that front line and the creative side of the team. Because the more we have, the easier it is to find a way through. I've seen games where Man City are doing this horseshoe sort of maneuver, going one side of the pitch to the other, struggling to get through this team that's defending in numbers on the edge of their box, and they struggle with it. Eventually, they tend to crack it because they've got the likes of Bernardo Silva or Phil Foden or back in the days of, I think, when they're at their absolute best, when it was like players like Aguero in there was moments of magic or explosive acceleration that would get something out of it. But they used to get a lot of 1-0 wins because of this, because other teams knew it's difficult to play against. We are not as good as those Manchester City attacking sides. So we struggle. And it was evident against Palace. All of a sudden, we found a way, and then realised Palace aren't that good.
Yeah.
As soon as you crack them, they fell apart. They looked very average, and we got what we deserved at that point because they were worse than us overall. That's the simple fact of it. Even though they made it difficult for us, they scored against the run of play. We were camped in their half. It's frustrating to watch at times, but if you just hang on and hope the quality works, then if, more times than not, it is going to. And we've seen that this season. People saying how clueless Ange is or how naive is. The fact is, we won 15 games out of the 26. It's quite a decent amount of games to win for somebody that's apparently so clueless. I think we just got to hang on and see what we can do in the summer. That's the only way that we're really going to see what's happening at this club. You need time to see the players coming in, players going out, and how it all takes shape in the meantime. Just hang in there. That's what we've got to do. Keep practicing this new way of playing, and we're going to have more days, without doubt, like Palace, where it's not going to plan, where it's being difficult. You've got to grit your teeth and look at the future. Look what you're trying to do. You've got to keep practicing it, keep at it. And our noisy neighbours down the road are a very good example of why you stick with the manager, because they were screaming for Arteta's head for year after year.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's the bee's knees, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's just, well, that's what we need to do. It doesn't matter which manager you pick, you stick with one for us. Right now, we've got Ange, so that's who I'd want to go with. If you're doing a long-term project, I want an attacking manager, just because that's the kind of football I want to watch.
And that is Spurs DNA apparently, right? So that's going back in terms of, you guys that have watched from way back into the 60s, 70s, 80s and stuff like that was the style of football.
Absolutely.
Evie talked about bringing back the DNA of the club and everything, and he's finally seems like he's got it right. But like you said, it's a matter of holding on and continuously backing him. You mentioned already with the way that City is able to unlock teams because they have the quality in the squad. So obviously you don't see the quality in our squad. I don't think we have many players that are magic. Maddison has looked poor since he's returned from injury. I don't think he's really still up for it. I don't know if it's that he's not 100%. Unfortunately, Sonny himself, even though he scored against Palace with that nice breakaway, since he's come back from Asia, he looks a little bit down as well. We look completely disjointed. I personally think that we're really, really, like you said, we're missing the wingers that can feed the ball in. But then who's the striker that's supposed to be at the end of the ball?
That's it. I mean, even the debate about do we play at number 9, do we play Sonny or do we play Richarlison? It doesn't matter if you can't get the ball to him. There's been plenty of games this season where Sonny didn't get a kick and he's playing the number 9 slot. So that's not really so much the problem. It's just surrounding them with quality. That's all that matters. I've said it a few times. The only ones are really rating our forward line are Sonny and Maddison. The rest of them I could easily see replaced, easily. But it's what we've got at the moment. So we're going to have to be a little bit patient whether we like it or not, because we are not going to be going out and spending £1 billion on players like certain other crappy little clubs in London. So we're going to go out and be sensible.
You're not talking about that Blue Bottle Job song, are you, by chance?
Yeah, I am actually. Yeah. There's a whole load more to talk about with them lately as well, isn't there? A few little revelations about
Well, there was something that just came out about how they posted a £90 million loss right now in revenues, which is really, really going to impact their financial fair play even further. And in speaking to a friend of mine that's a Chelsea fan, he basically said this is the reason Poch is still here. It's not that we don't want to get rid of him; they just simply cannot get rid of him. It's going to cost them too much, and then there's going to be penalties on top of that.
Yeah, I think unfortunately that might work in their favour in the long run. I do actually think he's going to do something there. They're just in a shambles at the moment. There's too much has happened.
Is that our bias, though? Is that us being biased, Kuva, for our love for Poch, that we want to see him succeed regardless of where he is?
No, I don't want to see him succeed there. I want to see him fail so he can just leave and, restore his image. I'll polish. I'll reopen the sort of long-term storage. Maybe he'll bring his picture out again. Nah, I think it's too late now, isn't it?
No, too late. It's done. It's done. Let it collect dust. Let's say I had a couple of people in the chat here already. Let's get the members chats going first. So Jim's in here already. We won. That's the main thing, gents. 100%, Jim. Good to see you, mate. And then he follows up with a super chat as well. The quad is on next year. The ad straight is rolling.
Absolutely.
So what do we say to Jim for that one? All we can say is simply, choo choo, baby, choo choo.
Damn right.
Right off the beginning here, we had Robbie's in the house. Big up, Robbie. Good to see you. My man Brush is in the house. Good to see you. Kate is here already. Good to see you, Kate. How are you? My friend Andrew Gregory is here. Good to see you, Andrew. Hope you're doing well, mate. Jim saying hello. Football Ferreira. Jose is here. Good to see you, mate. It makes me a bit upset. This guy's always in our show live. And for some reason, I've unsubscribed, resubscribed to his channel, put the notifications on and everything, and I never get I'm starting to really get pissed off with YouTube.
It's strange how YouTube doesn't do that sometimes. Yeah,
I don't get anything for Jacob's show. I don't get anything for Jose's show. It's really frustrating. After the fact the show is done, then I see something. Maybe if I go into YouTube, but that's a whole different conversation. Side dancers here. Good evening to you, mate. Good to see you, mate. Thank you, Jose. Hope you're having a great day, my friend. Five Guys is in the house. Big up, mate. Hope you're well. Jim's just saying hello to everybody. Everybody's saying hello to each other, as they would be at the top of your shopping list. I wonder what he would cost. Do you have an idea roughly of what they would want for him? Because if Conor Gallagher is saying 60 million for Gallagher, then Eze's got to be more than that.
I'd imagine they're probably going to ask 80, 90 million, something like that.
So I don't know where contract situation is.
Well, it's guesswork. It's going to depend on so many variables. Does the player want to leave? How many years has he got left in his contract? There's a lot of things that can alter that.
Yeah, fair enough. Stuart's in the house. Good evening to you, Stuart. Hopefully you're well. I'm glad you love seeing us be serious, but it's hard. Daniel, you big up to me. We have looked disjointed for ages, but like Kuva said already, Daniel, we're at the beginning of a project, and we got to stick to it. Like we say, we got to look at those people that unfortunately we are sitting in envy of down the road right now because things are going well. They're at the top of the food chain. They're sitting up there fighting for first and playing good football. Potting in a lot of goals. I saw something. There was a stat that they just broke the record for the most goals scored in something like 7 EPL games recently or something like that. So, those are the kind of things that we'd like to achieve, but I don't want to talk too much about them because it's already hard enough being serious. I don't want to be depressed on top of it. Top of his shopping list is Galaxy bars with a club card. £2 for 360 gram bars in Tesco. So for those of you who don't know, get to Tesco. I'll take a Galaxy as well, please. Me and Mama K are big fans of them. Everybody's just saying hello to each other here. This is actually football. Nick, welcome back from your trip, buddy. Hope you had a good time with the missus in Venice, my man. Hope you had a great time. So, 80 million. 80 million. Wow. I don't know if that's just agreeing with you, basically, that he's just saying, that's too much.
It's the
value is.
It's the argument about Declan Rice as well, isn't it? Arsenal signed him for huge money, and then everybody said, "Oh no, he's not worth that. That's crazy money." Yeah. If it's exactly what you need, then it's money well spent in today's money. You look at squandering. Squandering is what Chelsea have done.
Well, it's funny you say that actually at the valuation, and its timing is perfect. In the fact that you brought up Chelsea, because I read an article regarding Caicedo and how upset he was, and the fact that he's feeling under pressure because of the price tag that came with him. Again, a lot of us have discussed this in regards to Richie specifically, that he's not the one that put the price tag on himself. This is just the market and what the demands would be, right? So, no kidding. The pressure that gets put on these guys with the big price tag, unfortunately, for me as a fan, I'm going to say it is justified because you're commanding that because of the play that you've displayed. So that level of play and more is expected from you when you're moving up. Is it fair for a player like that to get paid so much money to come over and the club to invest so much in him to turn around and criticize how much his value was?
It's out of the player's control, though, isn't it? I think that the real criticism should be prices in general. There's so much money being pumped into football. There's obscene figures being pumped around. Leads into the ticket prices discussion as well, doesn't it? Yeah. Why is football so expensive nowadays?
We can go right into that right now if you want.
Yeah, sure. Not just the season ticket, but even watching it on TV or something. You have to subscribe to so many things. Weirdly, if you're in the UK, you're at the most handicap for this as well.
Yep.
You pay more than anybody else in the world to watch.
And you get the least amount of games.
Yeah. It's
That's what's insane. Yeah. Here, we had I don't know what programs you have, though I think it's Sky and whatnot, but we had a company called Setanta over here a few years ago. They were the ones, I believe, taken over by DAZN. Just for the subscription for the one channel was $24.99, $25 Canadian a month plus taxes for the one channel, and on that, out of the 38 Spurs games, I think there was 18 or 20 that were going to be actually shown. So if you're lucky, for $30 a month, $400 a year, you can watch half your games.
Yeah.
And compared to you guys, apparently that's a good deal still. That's atrocious.
You see, I wouldn't mind paying that kind of money if I got to see all of the Spurs games. I wouldn't care about other matches. I'd love to see if you could subscribe to your own club to get the exclusive match day footage each time.
That would be that makes sense. Is actually if you could just buy per club and just get their exclusive footage from their feeds and everything like that. You could get some behind the scenes stuff, maybe some training footage, maybe some youngsters footage and stuff like that. Then I could see it being justified. You're getting content that you can't get on any other channel. But when you have all these streaming services available and stuff like that, it shocks me that they're still trying to nickel and dime people right out of being able to watch their favorite sport. Just quickly off topic here, I just wanted to answer Lee's questions. Or big up, Lee. Hope you're feeling better, buddy. But it's Bree Smithy Smith. Bree Smithy Smith is the young lady who was in the tattoo parlor there. So not that she has any relation to you. It was all coincidental, of course, right? So everybody's saying, hi, Tequila's in the house. Big up, Tequila. Good to see you again, mate. You are not a mod here. That is shocking. I should make you a mod so you can drop your channel link in here as well, mate. Everybody's just saying hi to each other here. And then going now, we know that this has just been announced. Spurs plan a 6% increase in season tickets already. The second most expensive, only to Fulham. So we're already at the top of the food chain. We're demanding another 6%. From my understanding, that is a £50 increase per year for the lowest season ticket price. So how is this justified? Is this acceptable to you? What are your thoughts on this? Being somebody that does not have a season ticket like myself, it doesn't impact us really. You know, we're the odd game, if lucky. For me, the odd game every few years would be fantastic if I'm lucky. But in your situation, you know, you might get to a game in a year. Maybe. When was the last time you even got to a stadium?
Very, very, very much the same category for me, mate. I think if I still had a season ticket like I used to years back, and I was going on regularly, I'd be annoyed by it. We're paying enough already. If you're not going on a regular basis and it's just a one-off thing, it's like going to Disney World now, isn't it? In a lot of ways, you know, a lot of things on show, but none of it's really all that great if you think about it. That sounds like our club. Yeah, I think it's a day out. It's all set. We're all set up as a day out, the family day out for everybody. It's a huge cost. Well, if it's a one-off, you can say that's fine. There's going to be a lot of people who are quite content with that. But if you want to go on a regular basis and be what the club, you know, the sort of fan the club used to thrive on, which was the working man. It was a relatively cheap way of getting together and enjoying some football. Now it's the money into it is just ultimately it's the fans that pay for it one way or another. Merchandise, TV, ticket prices, it's just insane. I was making the point before, I mean, I can take my kids out to the local watch like Dorchester Town local club. We can have a meal there, have drinks, watch the game, all seated, you know, have a nice little trip out if you like non-league football. Come home, we've only spent 40 quid. Go to Spurs. If we put travel on top from where I am, fair enough. Travel itself is really expensive. The club can't help that. But you look at an all-round trip there, getting food and drink at the ground, maybe buy a scarf or something, you know, a mug or whatever at the club shop or something, just a bit of, you know, bit of something to go home with for the kids or something like that. I'm talking 300, 400 quid just to have a day out. Yeah,
for a day out. Yeah,
it's insane. So nowadays, I look at it. I don't even buy the TV subscriptions anymore. It's just not worth it. It's a complete con because you have to subscribe to, you know, 3 or 4 different stations just to get the games you'd expect to, and even then you can't get live games on a Saturday. So I'm all for like shouldn't really say it, but I'm all for pirating everything. Just to stream it and just rip it off because they are tyrants as far as I'm concerned. It's tyranny. It's taken the game away from the average person, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe people are used to it in London with prices of everything there, but it all adds up. When you're talking about something that costs hundreds of pounds anyway, 6% increase is a lot. Now, you will get people saying that's the first time they've increased prices in 4 years, which is true.
Yep.
So you could say, well, you're looking at 1.5% increase each year over 4 years. It's not that much. Perhaps that's a point.
Yep.
But it doesn't justify that the prices are that high in the first place. And this isn't just our club. This is all of them.
It's Kuva. The argument could be then has the value of the club, has the quality of the football increased 1.5% each year? Has the value of the club or the football quality of the football increased 6% in the last?
No, clearly not.
You know what I mean? Not. So it's for the purists and stuff like that. I could see where the argument.
Yeah, then they can argue, well, you're paying for the experience, aren't you? It's the whole stadium thing, which is an incredible experience.
It is, yeah.
Without doubt.
It was amazing, yeah. Yeah, Daniel Leary was just adding to the conversation here. He says it doesn't go regularly, but you can't really speak about season ticket prices rise. But the bit where they're screwing out older people really pisses them off. Of course, I can understand that. You got a lot of long-term fans that have been long-term season ticket holders and stuff. You got people that are living, they're on their pension checks, they're pensioners and stuff like that. They're barely surviving as it is with how tight things have gotten the economy. Now you're taking away their luxuries, their privileges, and their fun. What kind of club really does that? Is there any way you think that it could be created that
it isn't just the ticket price increase for the senior people? They've taken away all the concessions.
All the concessions. There's limited seating and stuff like that. They're restricting a lot of stuff. Yeah.
So it's all to squeeze extra money out, isn't it? And it's I mean, the point of reference that I think most people got angry from in the first place is when Bayern Munich years back made that statement about why they wouldn't rip the fans off with their season ticket price increases, because it would be so little. It would mean so little to the club when they do it. But I think it might have been on Sean's show on Spurs talk show earlier, and he pointed out that that's from quite a few years ago now, and even Bayern Munich have increased their season ticket prices by about 760% in that time or something like that. So it's crept up everywhere. The people are just having to squeeze the extra money out to try and get the little advantage they can over another team. I hate it all. If I had my way, there'd be salary caps on it. It'd be made back into a semi-professional game. I really would. I think it'd take all of this insane lifestyle out of it. It's more ridiculous than Hollywood movies. You get players living in little bubbles where there's just no grasp of reality. And who pays for it all? Always the fans. Yeah. Same with everything.
Well, that's the thing. The cost of living is increasing around us, yet the money we're bringing in is not. So you're now taking away people's ability to enjoy the little bit of money that they do have left after the government has taken their nice big cut, right? We had this going into this question here from Stuart, actually. If you were offered a season ticket next season and had the money to spare, would you take it? So that's for you folks, you UK residents in the chat. If you were offered a season tickets next season and I had the extra money to spare on buying it, would you want a season ticket still? I'm not a UK resident. I'm not there. I'm not in the chat, but I am here, and myself, Stuart, to answer the question. The key line being that if you had the money to spare. If I had the money to spare and I had the opportunity to go watch Tottenham, then yes, I know I would jump on that, because what is the waiting list? There's a mad waiting list, isn't there? Something like 200,000 people or something like that for season tickets. I don't even know what the numbers are. But I know it's absolutely ridiculous.
I think it might be about 80,000 or something like that.
80,000.
It's a lot anyway.
How many years away would you be from getting a season ticket then? Right.
Well, it depends. I think when Sonny finally retires, we might see that number drop significantly, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, fair enough. Ian Ferguson's in the house. Big up, Sunshine. Good to see you here. He said it's like that here for the MLS as well. It costs $100 per person out for the day to catch a match. I'm assuming that means FC Cincinnati there, the team he supports. MLS never said it was for every man to begin with. It's appealing to upper middle class folks in the burbs. Wow.
Yeah.
So basically they want to price out the poor man. They want to price out the people that are coming in, being a little bit rowdy in the stadium, making the noise kind of thing, and have it all a nice gentleman's game. And
As soon as the money starts going in,
and when somebody scores, oh, lovely, that was a great goal. Fantastic. What?
Yeah, as soon as the money starts getting poured into any sport, it's going to be taken over by greedy people who want to make even more money from it. So I think what the downfall of top flight football in this country, as far as I'm concerned, and I do call it a downfall, was the start of the Premier League. I think it was a huge mistake. Saturated with football now, prices shot up everywhere.
Yeah,
and expected to just deal with it all. No, it's just not good. I'm really disillusioned with the really top end football now. I'm actually thinking, I've been thinking it for several years. If Ange is somehow ousted out one way or another, whether it's the fans force him out or Levy pulls the trigger as usual, I'm probably done with Spurs. I think I'll just go watch non-league football only. It seems more honest to me. You don't get the one club buying their way out of it. Well, actually, you do nowadays. You get Hollywood owners coming and splash the money, so can't even get away from it there. Perhaps the only football worthwhile is getting out into the park with your kids and throwing a couple of jerseys down on the ground.
I was going to say, if you want, I'll give you tickets to Little K's next match. Free, buddy. They're on me. I'll even get you VIP seating. Andrew Gregory's just pointing out the fact that we've had 23 years of profit before glory under this regime. Tequila's just adding that he feels really sorry for the older people who love Spurs. Sad that they're getting priced out of the sport they love. Not only getting priced out of the sport, but their opportunity and their spacing is being reduced as well. So the accommodations for them in the stadium are also being reduced. These are people that have supported the club long before this regime was even in place. We've got people that have supported this club. We know fans that have supported the club 7 years plus, with King Arthur himself, Kimba's dad, right? He's into his, I believe he just 75 years or something like that. He was supporting the club. So it's absolutely crazy. And then you see this statement from Side Dancer. He's saying he's paying £46 a month for his package with TNT. £50 a month, $70 for that's a package. So I'm curious.
That doesn't even cover all of it, does it? That's only
I was just
one
going to say, Sai, how many games does he get? I'm curious. Is that for Premier League, or is that because you don't have them set up specifically like you suggest? What you alluded to earlier, where it would make more sense if it was teams.
There's a lot of football for that, to be fair, but. Who wants to pay for all of that? And I think most people are interested in seeing their club first and foremost. I mean, it's good to see some of the others, but you have to pay so much for to get everything. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
By the way, answer to the question about if you could if you're offered a season ticket, if you're offered a season ticket and you have the money to spare and everything. I am a complete hypocrite, so if I had that, of course I'd take it. I love my club.
Exactly. For me, the opportunity to be there, I had a few people chastise me when I took the boys over there last year, and I admittedly spent over £400 in the club shop. I'm not going to be there on a regular basis. It was my son's birthday. That's the reason we went there. That day was his birthday. He'd been given a lot of pounds over Christmas from us and his grandparents and whatnot to spend when he was there to treat himself. So he did. Is it something that I would do on a regular basis if I was a fan that had season tickets? Obviously not. But would I still go to the games? Yeah, most likely I would hit that Chick King across the street, have a meal, have a pint at the Antwerp, hopefully go see Phil P and get a woo in and make my way over to the grounds and hopefully survive 90 minutes without eating.
Yeah, also, would I go up with just me and the kids with a season ticket? No, probably not. But I know if I'm going up, I'm going to be meeting up with people I know and love from the community here. So that's what makes it. That's what was always the best thing about football in the first place for me. A group of lads I've known all my life, and we'd be weekends, we'd live for the football, go out there, few drinks, bit of a laugh. Doesn't matter if you win, lose or draw. It was all okay as long as you enjoyed the experience. Even on away days, going up, watching your team get spanked when you've traveled hundreds of miles in the back of a car and you've got hundreds of miles to come back again. It's an experience. You just do it because it's the whole thing, isn't it? Football's really lost a lot of character over the years, I believe, but oh well.
Sorry, the kids have come home and they've immediately jumped into all their devices, and my computer is saying that my connection is poor, so I don't know how this is going to keep going.
Sounds okay.
Sounds okay. Okay, good.
I think you should have just left your mic on when you were shouting at them, though.
I wasn't shouting. I was encouraging to shut everything off. So, here Ian's just saying Spurs match could be an awesome experience, but I would love to go to the lower league matches and spend almost nothing. Yeah, the atmosphere it's honestly, Ian, the atmosphere there at a park game, like Kuva was saying, just going to the park and watching kids play football. There's a league kind of thing that was going on, and we went to this indoor place just for a little kid to kick the ball around, and there was a league to go, and it was insane. The quality of the kids too was just great. I could have sat there for hours watching these kids play, and it was free. So my favorite word, of course, on top of that, Lee's just saying he's been on the waiting list since he was like 6. Wow. And I think Lee is late 20s or early 30s. He's a young fella still. So no season ticket, no chance of going to away games anymore. Wow. It does mean now to go watch Bedford Town, though. Fair enough. Recently got a VPN, so that's the way to go. Oh, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, Tequila, that's what we were talking about. A lot of people are doing the streaming service because it's just not worth the cost of it and the fact of what you get for the money. The waiting list is so long, I would do it because I don't know if I would even have the opportunity to get another season ticket ever again. Fair enough, Daniel. But these are people answering Stuart's question now. Ian Ferguson has just got a membership. Appreciate that, Ian. Welcome to the club, man. Really appreciate that, Sunshine. Thank you for doing that, my man. Waiting list. Okay, that's the one we just did.
Ian is a man who knows his biscuits.
He does. And he knows his football. Not American football, though, because he's a Cincinnati Bengals fan. But we won't get into that because he's a member now, so we have to be nice to him. Up to we have basically unlimited access to the Prime here in the States. Yeah, it is. It's crazy, Ian, the amount of blackouts that there are over there. The amount of times I've spoken to my cousin who basically made me a Spurs fan, and I'm like, yeah, I'm watching the game. Are you watching it? And he's like, no. The pub even down the road that he tries to go to, they're even limited for how many games they could show because they have to pay a ridiculous amount for these games to be able to air them. So Chris Peters saying he paid £850 a year from 2008, 2011 just for the home PL games. Lower East, although the first 2 home cup games were included. Okay, that's not too bad then. I was a second row from the pitch. Now, that's a really good deal. But when you compare that now in just a decade later, it's almost tripled. Well, it's more than doubled. It's close to £2,100 now, right? So if you were getting your money's worth, then okay. But now the way the club are doing things, it's kind of highlighting the fact that we want money more than anything. And Kuva was in the original factory. That's correct. He's actually the guy that comes off the bus third. If you go back and watch the movie, it's really good. It's really good.
I think they're probably a little bit more into violence. I'm a little bit more into tree hugging, though. That's the real difference.
Fair enough. Steve D's got a question here for us. Big up, Steve. Good to see you here. Phoning on Talk Sport tonight, asking if QPR fans would want VAR in championship after being denied a clear goal by handball last night.
Yeah.
I don't know much about that. Can you speak on this at all?
No, I think that sums up a lot of people's attitude towards VAR, doesn't it? Even though it cost them by not having it tonight, they would still rather not have it.
Not have it. Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough.
That's the way I feel about it too.
Yeah, Ian saying, "Give me a rainy night in Stoke. Being drunk would help with that too." Yeah. Being drunk with everything pretty much helps, right? So Daniel saying that's separate because you still end up needing the BT subscription as well. Has some Premier League football will be so you're still not getting all the games. So when I first started going without Ronaldo, I stood in the enclosure behind the bench. Got 50p. 50p. Either Stewart's really old or he got a hell of a deal, right? So
I do remember the old turnstiles. Pay at the gate.
Sorry, buddy. So that's his Cincinnati Bengals guy. But go ahead. You were saying with the turnstiles?
Oh no, it's just go times got changed so much.
You got
You used to be able to pay at the gate and go through the turnstiles. Only a few quid at the time, teenager when I first started going by myself. But yeah, it's so different now. Really
Well,
is.
it's funny you say that to be able to play at the gate, because that's what shocked me the most when I tried to get tickets for the game we went to last year. That you go here to any sporting event and you go up to a ticket counter, and if tickets are available, you can buy them. You don't need to provide a passport and your ID, your license number, your address, and everything. I had to register for Spurs Plus, Spurs One, whatever that thing was first, and go through all the steps first. Get the PIN number or whatever it was, my Spurs ID number and everything like that. Provide that through Limerick Spurs for Paddy so that he can arrange everything. But and then of course I had to pay for those memberships, which ended up being there's £45 for me and £20 for the kids each. So there was another £85 on top of the three £85 tickets I had to get. So just for the privilege of getting in and watching the game, we were close to £400 already, and we're not even there yet. Then add the airfare and everything like that. Like somebody said,
it's like some of those cheap airline flights, isn't it? You know, you can get from New York to New York to California and for about $20. But if you want a seat, that's an extra 20. Or
yeah. Did you want the plane to take off? That's extra. Remember the 50p days? You bought a ticket at the turnstile. Easy to go to a game them days. Yeah. Well, the common man is being priced out of the game, Jim. That's what we're talking about here, basically.
Has been. It's happened a long time ago.
I honestly feel this shows that they don't want fans like you guys there, you regulars, you people that live in the country or live locally. They want fans like me. They want us idiots that spend ridiculous amount of money flying over there, and they know once we're there, we're going to open our wallets up because it's not going to be an everyday experience or a weekly event for us. They know we're going to go. We're going to drop the extra couple of £100 to keep ourselves or the children happy or whoever is with us. We're going to drop the extra money on food and bevy because we don't know the area. We don't know what are cheaper options for us. We don't know where else there is to go good to eat. So we go into the stadium, we eat, we drink there and everything. I think that's absolutely disgusting. But it's kind of going back to what Stuart's point was already, where even if you were given the tickets, we know that the demand is there. The stadium will still be filled, be it with tourist fans like myself, the regular local fans, the hardcore ones, because it seems like the generational fans are now being priced out effectively. Because again, with the high economy costs and everything, and the rise with cost of living, now you're making joy more expensive. You're taking away people's opportunity to have a little bit of sunshine in their life. And speaking of sunshine, Ian's here. Tickets are insanely easy to get over here. The cost is another issue, but very easy to get. It's the main to me, but you have to be an STH over there. Oh, season ticket holder. It wasn't a season ticket holder, Ian. What it was I had to apply for this Spurs One or Spurs Club membership thing or something first. I had to sign the kids up as well because we had to get some sort of registration number or something like that. Then that is our kind of membership number. So it's not even a season ticket. It was just a privilege to say I'm a member of Tottenham Hotspur's club that I get absolutely nothing for than this number. I don't understand what the value or the purpose of having that was, other than it being a strict cash grab, because there's no value to it. I didn't get anything for it. The kids in the kids package thing, it said they were supposed to get a little thing. Never got anything sent over. I emailed them several times, never even got responses for it. So, of course, eventually you just leave it, right? Or are they going to send you a water bottle or something?
Yeah, little extra layers of membership as for stealth cost to it. Yeah. Happens all over the place.
But the thing is, again, we go back to the tourist fan, myself. We're going to pay it.
Yeah.
Because, what's another £80 when I'm spending $3,000 on tickets, £300 on the actual game tickets?
I think this is where you get the anger. This is where you get the anger as well, because it's not like if I spot there's a movie on that, it's going to cost me 200 quid to go and watch it, I'll just say, hell with that, I'll leave it for now. But Spurs, I've got to see Spurs. I can't just leave it.
I'll watch the game later.
Well, actually, last season I actually could. I literally got to that point, but hopefully not getting back to that. But it's ridiculous. It's a captive market. That's the trouble. So it gets exploited, and that's all we've seen over the years. We get owners coming into clubs that don't give a monkeys about the football. All they see is that bottom line. I'll have some of that. And
Yeah,
you
but
see it over
I
and
think
over.
that's in every sport, though, Cooves.
Yeah, absolutely.
You look at NFL owners, NHL hockey owners, and stuff. The crash app, the opportunity to make money. As soon as they see it, they seize it. Right? Andrew Gregory's
That's
just
what I'm
had.
saying. The only way to really reverse this is massively cap the money that comes in. But that's not going to happen.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen because the guys get those brown envelopes allegedly, and they're the ones
Allegedly, yes.
that can stop this, and they clearly won't. So we've all watched FIFA and Uncovered. If you haven't, absolutely great series. Definitely suggest checking it out. Andrew Gregory was saying when Spurs won the cup in '81, his season ticket in the North Stand Upper was £60.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Jesus, I paid more for one ticket than what he got for the whole season. I wonder if this is truly a true statement here, Chris, because I appreciate what you're trying to say, that it kind of takes away the lower class citizens to come to the game. But when somebody already made mention of the Football Factory there. When I actually watched, I don't know if you guys had it over there, but there's the Football Factory, the movie, and then there's a show, a TV show, the Football Factory, where this I think he's an American guy or he was an English guy. I can't even remember now. But he went around to different clubs around the world to experience hooliganism and the pre-game build-up. Like, he went to the, I remember it was who the two Russian teams that absolutely despise each other. I think it was Moscow and
CSKA or something like that.
CSK Moscow, and I think it was Dynamo or something like that. And he went to the two clubs, and there was big meetup and everything like that beforehand. They meet, and the places he went to, we're not talking about skivvy dive bars. These places look nice. These guys in here were lawyers, professionals, executives, accountants. These were, not simpleton nobodies. These guys were, some of them were quite affluent as well. So,
let's face it, it's Russia. That means that they were all gangsters, really.
Yeah, fair enough. But it was everywhere. Everywhere he went to doing this show, to me, it's like a lot of the hooliganism was organized. It wasn't just, dirt bags of society kind of thing. Turnstile men were loaded in those days. Sentence at 30,000. There's well over 50,000. Yeah. Extra turnstile got pushed up a little bit extra with a little bit of money going into somebody's pocket, which does not happen anymore. It's part of life. It's been happening in baseball over here, even with the clubs. Yeah. 10 years. It's ridiculous. It's happening everywhere. Benny's in the house. Little Archie's finally here. Good to see you, Benny. Hopefully you're having a good time, man. Have a great time in France over there. Look at that. Checking in just hi all the way over there. God bless you and your family, man. Hope you have a great day, my friend. 50p, buddy. Hell yeah, medieval times. you had to pay with an old coin, Daniel, with the king's head on it, with a crown and everything. Yeah, that's what it was. Hotspur 1. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. I can't remember the damn name.
I also remember the '84 final against Anderlecht, and I was 13, just coming up to 13. I went into the pub with my dad because it was like a big, I was allowed to bunk the day off school, go to the pub with my dad to have my first pint, quietly in the corner, and I remember that pint being less than £1. I think it was like about 73p or something like that. Yeah.
Do you guys still do the pound Guinness on St. Paddy's Day?
Not me, no. pound a pint would have been great.
Because it was a long time ago that we were over there, and they had a pound a pint on St. Paddy's Day for Guinness only, and I was just like, "Can you don't have anything else? Have anything good?" I'm not a Guinness fan, obviously. I'm sure I'll get a bit of flack for that here. Even rugby are charging big money now. Yeah. That's the thing, Steve. Any kind of entertainment has now exponentially increased cost-wise because it's ridiculous. Even going to the movies. Forget sporting events. Just go for a meal. That meal that would have cost you and your family $60, say a year ago, is now $80. It's nickel and diming us all the way right to the point where it's almost unsurvivable. But we went to that point, Kubas. We talked about this for a long time when we were only going to spend 5 minutes on it. But then we flip right into this here. Coming up now in just approximately a month, I think it's April 3rd or the 5th, it's going to be our 5-year anniversary that Tottenham Stadium has been open. Do we look at this club now and say, okay, this stadium was built on the premise and promise that once we are in this stadium, we are now going to be generating the money the big clubs generate. We're going to be up there with the big boys. We're going to be sitting at the top of the food chain. We're dining on caviar, baby. Champagne for everybody. 5 years later, I don't see anything change. I don't think we've increased in the footballing quality to say that we are up there with the upper echelon. I don't see us right now competing with the likes of Liverpool or Man City, sadly, as much as it hurts me to say that. It's just a sad reality. We don't have the squad depth. We're still very lacking. We've just, 5 years later, we start a project after moving into this place, a place that doesn't even have a name yet. Kuva, your thoughts on this, please?
I think you've summed it up already.
All right, then. Next point. No.
Yeah, I mean, how, end of the day, what do we really judge the club on? It's a football club. So that's the primary point of business. So are we better off than we were 5 years ago? I'd say under Pochettino, we saw the lack of investment come in towards the end of his reign. The players went stale. Players lost form. We didn't adequately replace them, and we fell apart. What's happening now is like we're just picking up those pieces right now. All the time that we wasted in the middle was doing absolutely nothing. We're doing treading water at best. So now we have to go into this next summer transfer window, hopeful that we're actually going to keep on this forward trajectory, which we don't know yet. If it goes, we could easily just revert back to what we've been doing in the last 5 years. If that happens, what's the point in any of this? So no, we've just wasted time. I mean, if you're really going to go for it and make use of this big ground and all the money that it generates and push you into the higher echelons, then surely the time to have really splashed out was when you had Jose Mourinho in charge, because that man wins, and we didn't even manage to do that.
Yep.
So
and even that, and then you see, I love Chris Peters' comment. I absolutely love it here. Have you not seen the changes? Levy's got richer.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So Coops, maybe that's here we are. We're being very selfish, Coops. I just realized how selfish we are being. I just realized how selfish we're being. We're sitting here talking about how that 6% increase impacts people. Screw the old people. They're old anyways. You can't even see the game probably. They got bad eyes. They can't even hear properly because they got bad hearing. Screw them. Get them out of the stadium. Let's get these rich guys in. That's what's more important, right?
It is.
It's sad, isn't it? Though that Levy has got richer. It's a sad reality. We are the club's version of Harry Winks, just gone sideways. Nothing has changed. Tequila already said we're in the exact same spot we were 5 years ago. I wonder. I'm just curious.
Yes, Jim said we can't go backwards, so we have the pigeon, so we can only go forward.
Prue, buddy, prue. I'm curious. Can you let me just see here? League table. That would be 2019 March. And what are we in now? Week 30, right? Roughly? Well, this one's saying week 30. So after week 30, the Premier League standings we were third with 61 points. So we, in fact, were in a better position before we moved into this big money generating stadium that's going to push us up to the upper echelon and bring in the trophies, baby. So we are lower than where we were 5 years ago. And that's not opinion. That's fact right now.
The overall strength of the squad is probably, I would say, it's around about on par with what we had at that point, because we were seeing the end of eras for some of the players at that point. Dele Alli had fallen off form at that point. Ericsson was, it lost his mojo and he wanted to go, sort of thing. We were. It's a different team. Vertonghen, Alderweireld, they weren't around much longer than that. Well, Vertonghen, didn't he leave straight after? I can't remember, somewhere around that. Because
You're asking the wrong guy. You know, I can't remember this morning, man. I honestly said that's where I give credit to all these content creators that could actually remember stuff from more than a day ago. When did Vertonghen leave, Jay? Do you know?
2019.
19?
2020, I think, or 2019.
Was it after we moved into the stadium or right before?
Poch got sacked. That's all.
It was after Poch got sacked. Okay, so we were in the new stadium when Poch got sacked.
Yeah, because he played the Champions League final despite not being right.
Fair enough. We've got a question here from Chris Peters. How long did it take for the Arsenal to get back to anywhere decent after moving into the Emirates? Or Emirates, as he likes to say.
True.
Very, very good. Very good. Good question. Vertonghen's end of 2019-20 season he left. Yeah, so the end of that season there. And we moved in, I think, March. Or, well, it'd be April. Sorry, April 2019. Yeah, that's when it opened, right? That was the first game there against, was it West Ham? I think we lost 2, right? So, or no.
We'll forget that one.
Yeah, we won't talk about that. We won't talk about that. The one thing that has to come to mind. That's a good question, Chris. I'm actually curious if anybody knows the answer to how long it was before Arsenal started seeing success after moving to the Emirates. But we're run differently than, Arsenal, before they even moved to the stadium, were really good at kind of investing in their squad and everything. We've consistently been tight. And all this praise that's gone towards the board about how efficient they are and how well they run the club, this was supposed to be the 5 years that they were able to splash it. And when you look at the, everybody goes, oh, well, we spent this much on this player, we spent that much on that. Well, then look at the sales too. And then look at the overall net at the end of it to see what the sale and the buy was. And we haven't spent anywhere near what the other guys have. It's almost embarrassing.
If it was for an analogy, I like to think it's like you break your leg and you're taken to the hospital and then shown around all the high-tech wards with all the equipment and, the salaries of the doctors shown and everything. Everything looks absolutely amazing. And an hour and a half later on this big tour of the hospital, you're still saying, great, but can somebody fix my leg? It's just everything's there except for the thing you need it for, which us as fans is to see our team playing some good football and winning things. We got so close to it under Pochettino and then just decided, we won't bother investing.
That's close enough.
Yeah, close enough, yeah.
That's okay. That was good. Hey, we gave it a go, right? I'm not going to lie. I actually spent all that money on an airline ticket and tickets just to get over there so I could see a beer get filled from the bottom of the cup.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
It's like
I almost bought a second one just so I could see it again. But what I did is just stand off to the side and watch other people buy beers and just was blown away. It was, oh my God, it was just the pouring.
Longest bar at any football club.
Okay, I think that's enough of that.
Did you know we had Groundsman of the Year a few years back as well? Yeah. It's not just Tiger Cup. We are dripping in silverware.
Was it real silver though?
Probably not. No,
I don't think so. A little bit of depressing news, unfortunately, has come out recently. Kuvs. This, unfortunately, has just been announced. Gaza himself did an article with The Sun. I'll just read you some snippets out of it here for the people that don't know about it. Gaza, unfortunately, right now says he is homeless and he is currently living in his agent's, in a spare room at his agent's house. I'll just give you some snippets out of the article. Troubled football legend Paul Gascoigne is homeless and back at Alcoholics Anonymous. He has revealed he has done an interview recently with a high performance podcast, and he let them know that this is his current situation. He's desperate to get sober, and Gaza admits that he's now a sad drunk who boozes indoors instead of going out. So it's gotten to the point where the man doesn't even go down to the local pub and enjoy a pint with his friend. This is at the point where he now just is depressed and trying to find happiness at the bottom of a bottle. Sad to hear, definitely. He told Jack Humphreys of High Performance Podcast, people know Paul Gascoigne. People know Paul Gascoigne, but Gaza, no one knows, even me sometimes, his exact words. When I'm really down, that's when I pick up the drink to cheer myself up. So again, he's trying to find happiness in the bottom of the bottle, which everybody knows has never been found for anybody. I don't think he's considered one of the greatest footballers of his generation. He was capped 57 times for England. The most iconic moment came in Italia '90 when he cried after being given the yellow card minutes before England's epic World Cup semi-final defeat on penalties to West Germany. It was following his retirement in 2004 that his life spiraled out of control. He explained that the drinking side of it was more when he finished the game. He doesn't feel they let any managers down or players or the fans. Because this was him on his own time kind of thing, going out and either celebrating or just living it up. His battles with alcohol have left him jailed or sectioned on numerous occasions over the years. Charges have included drunk driving offenses and being drunk and disorderly. He went to rehab for a seventh time for alcohol addiction back in 2014, attending a clinic in Southampton that cost him £6,000 a month. So the guy, you're spending that kind of money. He's clearly trying to get himself better, but we all know that alcoholism is a disease, and unfortunately, one that he just couldn't beat, or still hasn't been able to. He's still clearly battling his demons. At his worst, he splashed out £20,000 to have an anti-boozing pellet put in his stomach to try to stop the drinking. And then finally, in a 2021 interview, he admitted that he will always be an alcoholic. It's sad to hear that. Gaza's demons have seen him seek on and off help from Alcoholics Anonymous, which he says he has recently started revisiting. Father of three admitted violence against his first wife, now lives at Agent Katie Davies' home in Dorset. So this is local to you. You can say hi and help him out there. He called up his agent and let her know last November, a few years ago, crying his eyes out about the state that he put himself through. He's very disappointed in himself with what he's put others through, his jail, rehab, and even sadness to the point where he was doing cocaine off toilet seats. He now sinks in 6 coffees by 10 a.m., barely watches football as he misses it too much and is not part of the game at all. It hasn't been all plain sailing, as cruel neighbors as of alleged. Okay, this is sick. I missed this part of the article. I didn't read this earlier. Cruel neighbors are allegedly putting gin bottles on Katie's doorstep to try to tempt Gaza. So the agent's house, her neighbors, assholes, are putting gin bottles on her doorstep.
Oh, I bet that's nothing to do with the neighbors. I bet that's to do with the press.
That's messed up, man. If it's true, that's really messed up. And he goes on to finish that. Unfortunately, I think the time that I'll be given is when I'm in a wooden box. Apart from that, I'll keep fighting on. Credit to him to continue to want to fight on. I definitely applaud that. This is a personal issue for me, as we know somebody that's dealing with the exact same situation and helping them, hopefully trying to help them get their life back on track. That being said, though, is this a responsibility that can be pointed at the club or footballing as a whole as well, that we use this kid when he was at his very best for our entertainment purposes to bring us joy and pleasure on the football pitch, but didn't have any care at all for what happened to him outside of football, where he went to, how he was, everything, right? How do you feel about this current situation? How sad is it for you to hear about this?
This is it's absolutely devastating. I absolutely adore Paul Gascoigne. So for me, he's one of the greatest footballers this country's ever produced. We've people that are my age and same sort of era where we grew up with Gaza, and you saw him, you couldn't help but love the bloke. It just epitomised everything that was fun and good about football. However, it's at a price, and we've seen this before in the past. George Best famously, alcoholism. There's the trouble is, one of the big problems is this country. It's normalised drinking alcohol to excess. Going out on the town is a standard thing. People are encouraged to drink.
Yeah.
Attitudes are changing slowly over time, but Gaza was in a prime period where having a few beers with the lads it's the norm.
Yeah.
Still is for most people. Thing is that footballers, as again, it goes back to living in that bubble. there's no sort of real way of protecting them, and a lot of the times things are changing. Clubs have been a lot more diligent in looking after the players and what they do with their money, and counselors and advisors and things like this to help keep them on tracks. But I think Gaza was probably one of the biggest names that slipped through the net with that sort of thing. Despite being a Spurs fan and adoring him, the fact he came to Spurs, I can't help but think that it would have been so much better off if he had gone to Manchester United and Alex Ferguson had looked after him, because he was that authoritative sort of father figure.
Father figure, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been good for Spurs and for Gaza and for England. It's really sad to see him slip through the net and hit rock bottom so often. When people will know, a lot of people will know Brian Daigle and myself. We do a lot of work with people that have fallen hit hard times in the community. People with mental health issues and people who are struggling with addiction and coming back from it. We're not experts, but we do know how to get in contact with people and some steps they can take to get themselves on the right track. So it's always been quite close to our hearts. I mean, I myself have recovered from alcohol and drug addiction in the past. I live a relatively healthy life. My only real addiction is food now, because for some reason it's the only thing I can't give up. You need it. But I've given up all sorts of things other than that. So I understand addiction, and the alcohol itself, in most people's cases, isn't really the problem. That's the symptom. That's they're using that to medicate because it's something else that's making them unhappy. Trouble is, it does have a physical addiction side to it. So you saw Gaza going through all sorts of troubles for a long time, and it wasn't really highlighted. When it does get highlighted, half the people, well, not half the people, there's a large section of the community don't care about the reasons for it, don't care about the fact the man's depressed. They just see the alcoholism, say, oh, it's his own fault, he's doing it. Yeah. There's no
I'm going to throw my hand up, Kuv. I was one of those people. I never believed in the disease that is alcoholism. I always believed it was firmly a personal choice. Sorry, just quickly wanted to shout out Chris Peters, just became a new member. Thank you very much for that, Chris. Really appreciate that, my friend. Really appreciate you always consistently supporting us. Really do. It does help us. Thank you very much for that. Like I said, now that I've had to deal with it personally at a upfront level, I'm seeing it is truly a disease. It's not something that can be just cured. But what you just said about you and Brian, offering that opportunity for somebody to just be able to reach out and have a conversation, sometimes that helps, because that person sitting alone, like we've talked about with Gaza here, the only joy they're seeing, the only release they're seeing now is at the bottom of a bottle. Now you're giving them a different outlet. Maybe having a chat with a friend might put you in a bit of a better mood and kind of keep you away from that, putting yourself down that dark tunnel again. But all you can do is hope, right?
Yes, it's one.
Kate's just throwing in a super sticker here, so thank you for that, Kate.
One of the most important things to help somebody through these sort of times is giving them the reassurance that they're not the only person that's ever gone through it, and other people have, and you can get through it. That feeling of being alone when you hit rock bottom is the most awful feeling. You can be in a room crowded with people and feel like you're the only one there, because you're lost in your own thoughts and you just cannot see you can't see the light. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. You're not even aware you're in a tunnel. It's just black.
Yeah. I have those days right now, Koofs.
Yeah.
Exactly. I could be around everybody. There's absolutely no reason for me to be unhappy or anything like that. I just want to be kind of. I just don't have it in me to even want to talk to somebody some days, and it's just like, just leave me alone, and it sucks. I don't know how else to put it. Steve D saying he can't imagine how tough it must be for him. His football is touched by the gods, and he'll never feel that again. So to go from being somebody so important, somebody of status, somebody that had such value, was adored, to almost turning around and being nothing, and maybe the subject of jokes now as well, because like you said, some people won't appreciate the fact that alcoholism is a disease, addiction is a disease. They're going to turn around and say, well, it's your own doing. You had money, You could have gone and done this or something like that. But we've already talked about the amount of money he has invested on 2 occasions that we know about that he talked about in this article where he did, in fact, try to get himself the help he needed, right? So, Jim, again, with another super chat here. Big up, mate. Really appreciate this, Jim. Thank you, man. You're always supporting us. Really, really appreciate it. And look at this guy's decided to sneak in at the last minute here. So, big up, Kuv. Love you, brother, but you're still... You're still my most hated Irishman in the world, man. But I do love you, buddy. Cass and Ric Flair, same thing. Yeah. Ric Flair, Mr. Wu, he had a big issue with alcoholism, and it's sad, man. It really is. Sorry. Excuse me. You had to cough. I had to sneeze. Good timing for both of us. Yeah, it's Kate. It's so sad though. Like I said, I didn't have an understanding of it till now. And it took my eyes being open, and I can see why Kuva, people that haven't had the experience, I can understand Kuva's point there by saying that, well, it's self-inflicted. It's not. It is a chemical thing sometimes with people, and there is no just flipping a switch or taking a pill for it or something like that. We discussed how he paid £20,000 to have these tablets put inside him that would help him stop drinking, and even that didn't work. So I wonder if that's something that would basically make him throw up, or his body would refuse the alcohol being in it. And he even went through that and subjected himself to that and his body, and that still didn't work. So it really puts in light how detrimental this disease is and how it impacts somebody. And for me personally, I know a couple of cousins that have met Gaza, and anybody else that I know that's ever spoken or met Gaza has just said that he's just a great person. He's just truly, truly, gentleman-like. So, because you won't bloody show it. Well, Patty, how's this? Try not to send a super chat when we're wrapping up and putting on the outro. You got a few minutes now, so if you want to do it and get the credit you want. Oh, sorry. Here, how's this? Sorry, Kuv, just give me one moment. Dear Patty Hartnett, our dearest friend from Ireland, myself, Big K, and Little K want to thank you for the wonderful £5 super chat you sent on our last show, right at the end of the show when we started the outro. Even though the outro ended and I came back on screen to thank you, you unappreciative shit, you're still complaining, but we love you. Thank you.
He's only checking in on his kids, isn't he?
No, that's all it is. He doesn't give a shit about me, man. He's made that clear. And you know what? He couldn't make it more obvious, too, because he'll send like a good morning message and be like, hey, good morning to the kids. And then I get a middle finger.
Yeah. It's
it is
unbelievable.
No,
unbelievable.
It is what it is, man. What do you do? But big up to Ryan and Michelle. So it's easier for some folks to fall down the hole than others. Yeah. You know what? And Ian, like a few people have said, Mabbit's reached out to him. He's got people that are willing to help him and stuff. He's still a big personality. You're hoping that somebody with maybe a program for alcohol funding, whatnot, and everything, will grab him and maybe even make him a spokesperson. And people will see that this is a guy that's been fighting his demons for 20 plus years, and he's still fighting them. He's still willing to try, instead of just maybe the person that goes to AA once, does their 3 or 5 meetings, doesn't see the results, it's not working, and they give up immediately and go revert right back into just picking up the bottle. So if you're showing somebody like this that's going to consistently keep fighting, to me, I would take that as an inspirational character.
Yeah.
What would you think about that? Yeah. So
yeah, if you keep fighting, there's something there, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. So it was €5, not £5. Oh, for fuck's sakes, here we go again. Dear Patty, thank you very much for your €5 donation. Even though pounds are worth more than euro, and I give you more credit than you deserve, we really appreciate you sending a super chat right at the end of the damn show. And Chris Peters
got it that time, I think.
It could work. Yeah,
I think he got it that time.
I don't think he got it, man.
It's different. Right, so. He's there cramped under his staircase, isn't he, in that tiny little cupboard. He probably doesn't hear all of it.
You know what? That's not his fault. That's witness protection. What do you do, right? So Steve D is saying I'm spot on. Sometimes I would buy a couple of bottles of wine on the way home from work. It was an effort not to drink. Go figure. Steve, but that's the thing, though. A true alcoholic, the two that I unfortunately do know right now, one I know has no intention to make themselves better at all. They don't care. They don't have the ability to stop once they start. So that to me is a scary situation to be in. And the other one just constantly finds depression surrounding them in life, and finds that the bottle is the only way to maybe try to get out of it or make themselves feel a little bit better, regardless of the excuse, regardless of ever you put in yourself mentally to justify it. It's still sad to see, especially a character like this that was loved and adored, to fall so far. But like I said, hopefully he can be an inspiration to others and lead other people down the right path. And God willing, maybe he'll be able to correct himself one day. God knows he's tried. So the number one Agam in the world has finally showed up. Good evening to you, Chris. Good to see you as well. Oh, I'm not going to say a word. This one's yours.
Go feed my kids. Kuva, under the stairs. It's also my leprechaun's bedroom. Well, you should have plenty of money there, Len, shouldn't you? So, yeah, fair enough. Big up, Paddy, anyway. Your kids are doing well. I think they're being well looked after.
No, they're not. No, they're
Thanks, Patty.
There we go. See, picture of health.
Yep, the other one's run off to play football. Sorry.
So healthy. That was little K. He's just grown that much so quickly.
That was little K. He grew a beard overnight. Jim's just saying, I can tell you firsthand, it's hard to beat addictions. Everyone in the addiction needs help. Mine was Kate. Yeah, you know what, Jim? I know you and I have spoke about this. I appreciate you bringing this up and sharing this private information of your own. And not everybody's as lucky as you. But again, Jim, it's still a source of inspiration. You would be as well, because again, you fought your addictions, you kept in your addictions, and it wasn't until your life changed with having Kate with you and that partner by your side that brought you to the level that you realized, I can be happy without this. So good for you. God bless you for that. And God bless Kate for bringing you into that situation. And now I know why you adore her so much. I just hope that everybody out there has that opportunity with what Brian and Kuba do, and saying our door is open. You ever need to chat? Here's my email. Here's my Twitter. Here's my social media. I know Brian will give you his WhatsApp number if you want it. Kuba shares his information all the time with anybody that wants to talk. The door is always open. And I think people need to take advantage of those opportunities, and you have to realize that you're not consistently alone, right? So if you normally
I think another big part of the problem is you're in denial about actually being having a problem. It's become so normal to have a drink, for example. I mean, when I was at the height of my addiction, I had my own apartment, and my dad came around one day, and he'd come around a couple of weeks before that, and being in the kitchen, we'd talked, had a few cups of tea and stuff like that. Always been close to my dad. Anyway, he came around 2 weeks later, went into my kitchen, and he went, Jesus Christ. And I said, what? And he goes, there's 30 empty bottles of vodka here, and they're like litre bottles. I'd had that in 2 weeks. I didn't think anything of it. Because
30.
Yeah.
30.
It's a couple of bottles a day, basically.
I was going to say, how's that work out? That's 2 bottles.
When you wake up first thing in the morning, and your first thought is to have a drink. That's already a tiny little bit of the bottle gone. By lunchtime, you're halfway through one, and it's normal. You might be mixing it with some orange or something, or whatever you like, or whatever you're doing. And it just adds up. You keep going. You build up this incredible resilience to alcohol, and it doesn't mean anything anymore. So then you're drinking more and more to get a buzz from it.
To get a buzz, exactly, yeah.
And then it literally took him to point out that to me to think, Jesus Christ, I have. It shocked me.
Everything, though, isn't it, Coos? Like everybody builds up a tolerance. Cocaine, heroin, whatever drugs are out there, crack. It's the same, pretty much same thing. You're always chasing the high, is what it ends up being. Patty, for once, has made a comment that I'm going to agree with and support. I know it's been a long time since I've said those words, but one thing we need to realize that we all need to look out for each other and be there for each other when needed. 100%, Patty. Even though I hate you, buddy, I'm always here for you, and I know vice versa. That's the one great thing about this community. We are surrounded by fantastic people. That's the one thing I've always said. I appreciate that becoming a part of this community, the new friends I've made, and the love and support that is shared, and the stories, and then of course the misery that we all share together when when we have to watch Tottenham sometimes. But it's just like you said, man. Just be there for each other. It doesn't take much to answer a phone call or respond to a text or a message when somebody sends it. That seems like you beat the demon, Steve. Congrats. Yeah, constant struggle, I'm sure. Yeah, Steve, if you're in that situation, you've made yourself better, than big credit to you, brother. Big credit to you. Good for you, man. And Jimbo, love you. Okay, now they're gonna get on there. Okay, so they love. Okay, yeah, save it for tomorrow, guys. And Mia has dropped her 3-month membership. Big up to you, crazy mofos. And I think we needed that right now. We're getting to the point where we're gonna start tear jerking here from people, right? So appreciate that. And Steve is hitting on. Jim, Kate, you might want to keep an eye on Jimbo there. Steve's trying to take your man here, and Jim actually appreciates the comment. So, yeah. Uh oh. So we'll leave that at that. There, we'll let them two get on with it. You're lucky girl, Kate. Oh my, yeah. You're always looking for a bigger high. That's the thing. You know what I mean? So bigger go home. Yeah. Everybody's just saying hi to each other here. Everybody's greeting Mia and showing her some love there. And Davo jumps in right at the end here, throws in a £5 super chat for us. Big up, boys. Great show, even if you're being serious. More than normal nonsense. Next time, please, enough love. Davo, that is going to be reserved for Saturday nights. Our Thursday night show is going to be it. So we're going to offset here. 1 week we're going to do this show. Next Saturday we'll do our usual nonsense and come up with the most stupid stories we can and just have a laugh for you, buddy. So Saturday nights in the streams with the two of us being silly, and then actually tomorrow night should be a good show. If you're not subscribed, get on over to Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs. I'll be hosting Get to Know Jim and Kate special. So all questions from chat members, channel members will be accepted, and I've got some interesting ones to ask them already for the people in the community as well. So really appreciate the super chat there. Much love to you for that, Dave. Well, thank you for that, my friend. Kuva is right. Ends up normal to you. And Kuva, it's easy to end up like that. Yeah, strong care. And you know what? It's not even a character thing, Jim. Like Kuva said, it gets down to the point where it becomes the norm, right, Kuv? Like you said, you were getting up.
The reason I brought that up about my own experience is because I remember what Gaza said about his time at Everton. And he was drinking heavily while playing. And he said one particular match day, I forgot who the match was against. He said he woke up in the morning, his hands shaking because he's got the DTs, and he says his first thought was to grab the bottle and just have a little steadier, just to get the shake out of his hand, steady himself, get his nerves right, ready for the game. Then he'd head off in the car, and soon on the way he'd think, oh, my hand's still a little bit shaky, stop off, have a little top up,
have another bit more,
steady myself, and get myself together. And then again when he gets to the ground, and then he goes out, because it's Gaza, plays a blinder, has man of the match award, and his manager at the time, I forgot, Scott's manager, I've forgotten the name now, anyway, Everton, he comes in after the match and he goes, all right, Paul. And he goes, yeah, okay. He goes, how do you think he did? And he said, I think I played all right. And he goes, you got two choices. You go to rehab or you get sacked, because it was so obvious that he was drinking.
Yeah.
And that's genius football. And that's the point about, he felt that it was just normal. It's just have a little chaser to just steady yourself. That's a normal thing. It isn't.
Yeah,
you're completely lost to it.
But to your body is normal.
Yeah,
that's the scary thing, right?
Yeah,
It's sad though when you hear that though. But big up to Tequila. You came in and gifted 2 individual Spurs memberships. One went to Mr. Chris Agambar, the number 1 Agambar in the world, and the second one went to the gentleman I like to call the ambassador of peace, Mr. Amir from Israel Uncovered. So big up, 2 great people to be getting the gifts. And a great person sending it out. So thank you, Tequila, and big up to Chris and Amir for getting those. I drink, get drunk, fall down, no problem. Steve G's got to head out. Steve, good to see you, man. Really appreciate you being here as always, my friend. Have yourself a great night and hope all is well. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you next time, mate. And of course, for those of you that are in the house still, please remember to hit the like and subscribe and all that other stuff that everybody's supposed to stay on their channels. Bye, Steve. Everybody's just giving Steve some love. So, and Chris is showing his appreciation over to Tequila there, and that's nice of you, Tequila. Really appreciate that, man. Really appreciate you doing that, man. That's kind of you. So that's a little bit depressing news on that end for us. Now we'll get back into the football end of things, shall we? We'll get back. We've got an upcoming game against Villa. Villa, I believe they ended up finishing the game with Ajax now. It should be over. I know in the 92nd minute it was still 0-0. I don't know how that game ended. Do you happen to know how they finished off there? Or I could just take a quick look while you make
You
up
better
something.
have a quick look, haven't you?
Yeah, I'll make up. You make up something while then.
Yeah, I mean Villa even drawing
0-0.
with right. So Ajax are not the same team this season as they have been in recent years. They're much really struggling this season compared to others. So Villa are in with a good chance on that anyway. Do they go on and win the competition? That's the real question everybody's going to be asking. It's beneficial if they do, isn't it?
Well, now I'm just looking at it from a benefit point for us that we're going to be playing them in a few days' time now. They've had to do the travel over to Ajax, which is, Amsterdam's an hour flight for you guys or something like that. So it's not like a lot of travel, but
plus, of course, going to win a game in Amsterdam, that's easy. We do that all the time, don't we?
Well, that's if you're Tottenham, right? And
That's
you,
right.
but you gotta wait till the very, very last minute, of course, though.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you gotta wait till you see Patrick Kluivert at halftime singing at the top of his lung, everything's gonna be all right, until Mora shows up.
True,
But
that's true.
that's a whole different story, right? So, how are you feeling about the upcoming game here? We are at going to Villa. It's an away game for us. Unfortunately, they do have good form at home. They've been a little bit up and down lately. They were conceding a lot of goals too, but they're scoring them too. They're getting the results. We're 6 points behind them, I believe, right now. So with a game in hand, so this could be the swing that kind of almost determines fourth place going forward. Is this a must-win game for us?
No, it's not a must win. I mean, we're not going to be relegated or anything, but if we're going to have serious intentions about finishing in the top four and getting Champions League football, then yeah, I think we've got to win that. For me, I think we will. I genuinely believe that. People will say about how disjointed we are as a team, and the Ange way of playing football's not working. We don't see Ange ball, or we can't break down teams within so many minutes, and therefore we're crap. I'm not buying into any of that. We've got some teething problems this season. There's some players not up to the job, but I've also got a lot of faith in the ones that are up to the job. The likes of Maddison, Bentancur, who haven't been on form. At some point, they will be back on form.
Van de
Ven.
Always mention Van de Ven, remember?
No. Yeah, all right. Come
on, just say his name once.
He's never been off form, though, has he?
No, he's just beautiful.
No, I just believe we're a better team than some of the performances have suggested. I think we're due to click again at some point. I don't see why it can't be a Villa. They're not some unbeatable team.
Yep.
When they beat us at our place, we'd actually outplayed them.
Yep.
It's only the fact we couldn't finish our chances. It's like we're due some game. We're going to create the chances and we're going to score a lot of them as well. We're capable of doing that at some point. I'm going to believe until the end of the season we can do that in any match. I don't see why we can't finish strongly, and I don't care about we've got a big run of games against really big teams coming up. I think we can rise to that. We did earlier in the season. I don't remember us losing to Man City or Arsenal or Liverpool. I don't remember us losing to Man United. None of these things were happening. So why fear it now? I think bring it all on. If you want to be one of the best teams in the league, then you've got to beat some of the best teams in the league.
Yep.
Bring it all on. It's a good test of how far we come along, and it's some of these players up to the job. I believe a lot of these players aren't up to the job. We see it, but our first 11 fully fit, we should be able to take on anybody.
Yeah, Patty's just adding. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so as far as I'm going to go score prediction as well, because
No, not yet. We'll do that next.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You're Kuv. You do what the hell you want.
Okay, I'm going back on the 7-3 score trail. Yeah.
I'll put that there. Oh, Jesh. 7-3 it is, baby. There we go. Stuart's just informing us that Roma smashed Brighton around 4-0. Paddy's just saying it's not a must-win game, but important as we need to win to push right behind them with the game in hand. 100%. Chris Peters adding a little bit of sad news here. 0-0 game, but the sending off on each side. Yeah, I told you about that one red card for each. I think it was after 83rd and 86th minute, something like that. But a Villa supporter got stabbed last night, so we do hope that supporter is okay. Oh, sorry, no, he changed his mind. He said it was a Brighton supporter in Roma, as usual. So that's kind of sad to hear. Spurs GCTV is in the house. Good evening to you. Appreciate you joining us. It will be a tough close, but there will be goals. I predicted KG 5-0 win.
Yeah.
KG 5-0 win. Very well. Very, very good. Doc and Beers in the house. Big up, Nick. Good to see you, mate. We're doing well, man. Hopefully you're doing well as well. That being said, Kuva, you kind of already touched on this already with your 7-3. So those of you in the chat, we will be wrapping up here shortly. If you want to throw your predictions in, anything you want. With the last banner thing that we said, will we leave that now? Because we're pretty much...
Oh, I forgot what we said now.
I'll put it in the private chat.
Oh, hang on. I should be able to look at it, shouldn't I?
Oh, yeah. You should be able to just look at the banners.
Which sections? Oh, there we go.
Under show banner.
Oh, okay.
Do we want to do that today, or should we just save that for when we've gotten the hour and a half we want to do? So
yeah, I'll save it for another time.
Save it for another time. Okay, so Kuva has said 7-3. For me personally, I think just because of what happened, the more of the pressures on them with the fatigue and everything, with the rest on our side. We're coming off a win. I think we were down after that Wolves loss. I think it impacted the players' mentality. I think this last 20 minutes against Palace might have hopefully lifted us again. So I'm hoping we got the jolt we needed. I'm going to go for a 3-1 win. I think that's becoming my standard now. You've got your 7-3. I think my 3-1 is going to become my standard line here now.
3-1's so boring, though, isn't it? It's like saying, I'm confident the team's going to win, but we'll probably concede to make it closer. It's like, nah, come on. Go out on a limb.
5-2.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That is it. 5-2.
You got a props for that one?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, just
there we go.
So my hand closer. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
So I'm putting a couple of pound bet on that for Bobby.
There you go, buddy. Yeah. 5-2. And if you win, take out on me.
How about goal scorers?
Well, clearly, I don't. Richie's. They're saying he had declared himself as a maybe, but they're saying he's still unfit. I think Super Sub Johnson's going to come on. We're going to be winning 3-2, so he's going to pot the last 2 goals of the game, so he'll get a brace. But the first 3, one will be scored by Madison, who needs to rediscover his form, so he's going to crack things open. We're going to see just a bombastic run from Basuma out of the middle. He's going to come up and shut everybody up and say, this is what was so great about me at the beginning. You're going to remember why you loved me for the first 10 games. They'll give one to Basuma. And, of course, Captain Sunshine himself has to have one. So, Sonny, Basuma, Matters for the first 3, and Johnson to put the nail in the coffin with the last 2. How's that? Do you like it?
I like it.
I'll give Diaby and Watkins for Villa.
Personally, I'm going to go for Sonny scoring all 10 in the 7-3.
What? How about Vicario? Come on, go out on a limb, man. Why not Vicario?
The only person that can beat Vicario would be Sonny.
Nobody beats Vicario. Nobody beats him. Tequila saying 2-2 draw. Yeah, Kuva is so damn ham. Said, "Wait, hey, that is not a lie.
It's a curse, I'm telling you."
You know what? We got to live with the gifts that God gives us. What do you do, buddy?
That's true. That's true.
I feel bad for you sometimes.
We didn't mention Matty Cash, did we?
Oh shit! No, we didn't. We did not.
What's thoughts on Matty Cash? Should we have retribution on Matty Cash?
I would absolutely accept a red card for Romero because looking at the 4 games we have, me and Jay were talking about this actually. Jay, come in here and add your 2 cents regarding this because Kuva's asking about Matty Cash, and I liked what you told me about Romero the other day. Why don't you come in here? I'll let you add that in yourself. Come here, come join us for a second.
I was talking about how it's a good thing because we're going to finally get to see Dragusin play for the next 4 games after Romero absolutely kills Matty Cash.
Fair enough. It's true.
And the next 4 games were against teams that it would be nice to see Dragusin come in and play, right?
Yeah. I'd love to see. I'm actually mad that he's not playing.
And then Romero would be back for the City game, right? He'll be nice and rested and prepped up, ready to kill Allen.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
Okay. So is it time for Romero to cash in?
Yeah,
You see what I did there?
Nice.
This is why I don't partake.
Nice.
Yeah, he's giving me the shaking his head of disappointment that
Absolutely.
we had not.
I'm prepared to go further than that. I'm prepared to go for any player that gets within range of him goes for the 2-footed knee-high challenge, and we just keep hitting him until he's like incapable of going any further, and then keep hitting him. I don't care if the game gets abandoned because we go down to 6 players, just all sent off for hitting Matty Cash.
Everybody just clattering Matty Cash.
I don't even care. I don't even care if he sat on. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't even care if he sat on their bench. I'm happy for Cutie to go off the pitch and go and tackle him in the dugout.
Go right into the
Just pile in there. One at a
to the
time.
Eric Dyer, just climb over people, get right in there and drop an elbow right into his jaw.
I don't care if he's been given the day off and he's sat at home watching on the TV. We pay Cutie Romero to jump in an Uber and go and get him at his own home. Studs flying in through the window, take him out on his sofa. It's all good.
The only way that gets better is if you have Emerson Royale making a TikTok video of it. After he sees Cash come down, Romero climbs out of the window with blood all over his cleats, and then we see Royale start dancing. There we go.
With the surgeon's outfit on it. Yeah.
Oh, with the surgeon. Oh, nice. And then he goes into the house and he finishes Cash. Okay, yeah.
And then
that's quality.
And then Venom leaning in and going, you fuck, mate.
or let's just go with the standard Simpsons Nelson. I said, ha.
It works.
I like Andrew's statement here. Matty Cash scores last minute own goal to win us the game. And then Romero clatters him. 96th minute red card, 95th minute winner, and there was only 4 minutes of added time. I
don't want to just see a bad foul. I don't want to just see a bad foul on him. I want to see one of those fouls that sends him spinning up in the air about 7 feet, landing on his neck.
Stick around. One of these kind of things when he dropped. Yeah,
one of those crash test dummies in a high-speed collision. Anyway, basically saying I'm not keen on Matty Cash.
I love it. Cash needs to see this. No, we've got no issues with Cash at all. But well, I'm Indian, so we love Cash. But we freaking hate Matty.
No issues with him at all. I wish him luck by saying break a leg.
Well, I wish him double the luck. Break both.
Break both.
Oh shit! Stuart's called us out. Stuart's called us out. Thought this was a Stuart. So you guys can't help it, can you? No, Stuart.
Do I look like I'm joking?
Stuart, this is why we do a 90-minute show, though. And technically, we're 3 minutes over. So the last 3 minutes has been us being ourselves. We can do 90 minutes of serious, and I'm quite proud of us to even achieve that because it's not easy, especially when I have the guy that just brings out the best in me right here beside me. But that is it for us for this week, Kuvs, unless if there's anything else you would like to add or...
No. Did I mention I don't like Matty Cash?
Did you? I don't know. Jay, did Kuva mention he didn't like Matty Cash?
No, I don't think he did.
No, he didn't. No, Jay didn't see it. He's watching the stream. He said he didn't mention it at all. Did you want to let everybody know?
I think he's wonderful. Hopefully he can appear in a few Bupa commercials later, showing how good the quality of the hospital bed.
Oh, that'd be nice. David Clark's just letting us know that actually Pau Torres got taken off injured as well. So that means Cash will definitely play. So yeah, Romero kills Cash and Spurs seal the win. It's a great headline for Monday morning, I think. So fair enough. And we tried though, Stuart. We tried though. Of course you can, Patty. You can add whatever the hell you want. You're freaking Patty Hartnett, man. No, thank you, Andrew. Really appreciate you being here. And speaking of which, quickly, I'll just run through these here. I have a bad habit of forgetting them. But thank you very much, Jim, with his 3-month member chat. Then he followed it up with a super chat as well for us. Ian became a new member. Thank you for that. Chris became a new member. Thank you for that as well. And then, of course, Kate follows in with sending us a super sticker as well. And Jim and Kate just doubling up on their generosity and sending another super chat in. So thank you guys for that. And then my favorite Irishman, just don't tell him that. He adds in and he throws in €5 before I get mad and give him credit for giving us pounds. But thank you for that. And he's got his leprechaun out of the room. So he's got his room under the stairs back. Mia's in here joining us for 3 months, giving her 3 months membership. Thank you for that. And Davo added another £5 super chat at the end there. Tequila was kind enough to gift out 2 memberships that went to our dear friends Amir and to Chris Agambar. So that is absolutely fantastic. I think I don't. Somebody should tell Patty that owl doesn't have a G in it. Maddie crash test dummy instead of Maddie Cash. I like it.
Or
I
just,
like it.
just cash test dummy.
Just crash test dummy. Cash test dummy.
Cash
There
test
you go.
dummy. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jim. Appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So that is it for us. We will be back for ATF in 2 weeks. We'll be back next Saturday with, of course, our Spot the Bull and Kuv The Kang. We go off the rails, have a little bit of fun there. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. Enjoy that and join us for that. And the kids will be back with their weekly
Cash story.
Oh my God. Matty Cash special next week on Kuv The Kang. Be there or be run over by Romero. You know where to find us, folks.
Oh my God, Matty Cash, break a dicky, Forrest. It's writing itself.
Stop. This is completely when we shut the show down conversation here. Now let me get the book, buddy. Let me get the book. Let me get the book. If the idea is already streamrolling, shit, man. Should I just start the Spot the Bull intro right now?
Leo. Hi, Leo.
Hi, Leo. Oh, is Leo finally showed up?
Leo. He's there.
Hi, Leo.
Hi, Leo.
Everybody in the chat, please say hi to Leo. He gets emotional, right? The cameos. Thank you, Stu. Appreciate you always being here, buddy. You missed the stream. Leo, you got to talk to your boss, man.
The stream missed you, mate. Hello, Leo.
Hi, Leo. Romero doing his bits towards a cashless society. Nice one. Very nice. Big up, man. Thank you, Chris. Love you guys being here. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Appreciate you joining us today. And until next time, all I can say is unity through football, baby. Coovs.
Time to cash out.
Woo. On that note, I think what Kuva said was...
That is fucking up fantastic.
We'll see you next time, folks. Have a great day.
Leo. Bye, Leo.
Spurs. Jay, say bye to Leo.
Bye, Leo.
Bye, Leo.
Bye.